If America's phasing out these Stinger missiles, which is one thing that has been talked about, what is the plan to help restore weapons, especially in light of this shortage?
Well, I think that's what the big question is. And I think you are going to see a lot of these defense manufacturers like Raytheon really trying to work with Capitol Hill and members of Congress to figure out a plan. We do know that lots of money has been allocated to go to Ukraine in military aid, but there will have to be, assumingly, money to go towards replenishing the U.S. supply of these weapons. And Adrienne, it's not the U.S. that's suffering. It's not only the U.S. that's suffering these shortages. We know that other countries, such as in Western Europe, for example, have donated quite a few missiles and other military parts, essentially, to Ukraine right now. So, I think there's overall in the supply chain crisis, we are seeing really multiple countries suffering this. And, I think you will see a scramble to try to replenish these supplies as soon as possible.
Well, there are some defense firms that are concerned that there will be too many weapons, that they'll be stuck with unneeded stockpiles of missiles if they do indeed ramp up production. This is not the last conflict that the world will see and that the U.S. Will see. So what is the answer here? I mean, clearly we would want some type of production attempt to have the preparations when ready.
Yeah, and well, it's not the last conflict, and we do know that we don't know how this conflict in Ukraine is going to end. We know that a lot of these countries, these former Soviet Union countries, Poland, for example, Moldova, right on that border with Ukraine, are very worried, and so is NATO. So, like I said, this is going to be an ongoing conversation, I think, with lawmakers, the U.S. government, the Pentagon, as to how to replenish these supplies. I mean, we do know that, there has been, some comments saying we wouldn't need Stinger missiles or need them to be replenished until the next couple of years. But looking down the line, it's certainly a big question to ask.
Especially for sending so much aid, weaponry, to Ukraine. Maybe the U.S. doesn't need it, but clearly we're sharing the wealth. Lawmakers now calling on the Biden administration to invoke the Defense Production Act. Can you talk about what that means?
Yeah, essentially that Defense Production Act was also a big topic of conversation during 2020, during the height of the pandemic, and that would essentially ramp up production of needed supplies during this conflict. That would essentially help replenish the shortage or try to amp up supplies that are needed. So we saw that happen, somewhat during the height of the pandemic with the production of, let's say, masks, for example, and other needed materials to help combat the effects of the pandemic. But now this is definitely going towards, or would go if it's ramped up towards, this conflict with Ukraine.
We'll see what happens next, but clearly we can't afford to have supply chain issues hit our military, even if we are just sharing it with other countries like Ukraine. Thank you so much, Julia, for being with us. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.